Welcome back to Interact with Intellect. Today we'll take a detailed look at what is called human resource management and its essential role in strategy formulation. We have discussed a lot about strategic management. We have discussed in detail how strategies are made. We have discussed about the business processes. We have talked about project management. We discussed marketing. We discussed strategic innovation and everything that was there in the course. However, one fact remains as it is, and that is, without human resource, you cannot achieve any of this. Whether you have a differentiation strategy, whether you have a cost leadership strategy, whether you want to have a focused differentiation strategy, whatever you may want to do, you cannot do that without people being involved in that. So my dear friends, in this chapter, we'll take a detailed look at how we make sure that the people who are working in our organization are, number one, they are selected properly, number two, they perform properly, and number three, we manage to get the best results out of them. In this particular discussion, we'll start with what is the strategic importance of human resource. Then we'll discuss briefly about what leadership is. Once we are through with the leadership part, we'll discuss job design, and from there we'll move on to knowledge workers, who knowledge workers are, how they work, what is the importance of knowledge working. Finally, we'll move to competency framework and we'll finish this with a discussion on learning. आइए अपना discussion start करते हैं with the topic human resource and organizational strategy. Human resource, as we discussed earlier as well, is a key player in the development and implementation of any organizational strategy. It has a number of aims and objectives. If you look at the formal definition of human resource management, it says a strategic and coherent approach to the management of an organization's most valued assets, that is, the people working there who individually and collectively contribute to the achievement of its objectives for sustainable competitive advantage. My dear friends, the whole story is that we as an organization require a sustainable competitive advantage. Whether we are talking about cost leadership, whether we discuss about differentiation, or whatever kind of strategic advantage we have, we need to sustain that. And we cannot do that, believe me, we cannot do that without the support of our people. This is important in manufacturing concerns, but this becomes very, very crucial in service sector organizations, because if you recall, in the 7 P's that we discussed relating to services, there is this component of people, which was the 6th P that we discussed. Why? Because services simply cannot be offered without the presence, without the support, without the contribution of its people. So therefore, when we are talking about human resource strategy, we need to take a look at a number of things. पहली बात क्या है? पहला objective क्या होगा human resource management का? That is to develop an effective human component for the organization that will respond effectively to change. My dear friends, we'll discuss that in the next chapter as well, but change is inevitable. The kind of environment we are operating today, in this environment, we are finding ourselves in a different situation with a different set of challenge every morning. So in such a situation, अगर हमारे लोग, अगर हमारी teams, अगर हमारे operational staff, if they are not able to change, let's say banking technology change हो गई और हमारे लोग उस change को adopt करने को तैयार ना हो, तो क्या होगा? हमारी organization फिर बाकी लोगों से पीछे रह जाएगी. Can we afford to do that? Is there any bank in Pakistan today that can afford to operate on manual banking? No. क्यों? Because the environment is such, because the customers have expectations, and you cannot, my dear friends, you simply cannot survive without the environmental changes, without adopting the environmental changes. So therefore, the basic objective of human resource management is to be able to develop a human component that is, responding to change. Another crucial aim, another crucial target that we try to achieve in human resource management is to have a good and clear understanding of the requirement of people. कितने लोग हमें आज चाहिए, कितने लोग हमें आने वाले दिनों में चाहिए होंगे. अब आप याद कीजिए, when we discussed about strategic choices, हमने क्या बात की थी? हमने कहा जी product development is an option, market development is an option, diversification is an option, right? We did discuss all this, but जब आप इसको implement करने जाएंगे तो क्या होगा? You talk about product development, okay, you need people in research and development, you need people in marketing to push that product in the market, you need people again if you are going into new markets. अगर आप market development strategy लेते हैं, you need to have people who will enter into the new market, who will promote your product there, and so on and so forth. So whenever we decide to go for any kind of strategy, whether it's growth, whether it's competition, we again have to make sure that our people are appropriately hired, सही वक्त पे सही numbers में हमारे पास होने चाहिए. One must not forget one very important, very crucial fact. आप finance के students हैं, आपको ये idea बहुत clearly होगा. Expenses organization के जितने भी होते हैं, उसमें एक बड़ा number, एक significant presence payroll expense की होती है, salary expense की होती है. So therefore, if you have a larger number of people, more than what you actually require, तो आप अपनी bottom line खुद खराब कर रहे हैं. You cannot afford to do that. At the same time, if you do not have the right kind of people, or if you have less number of people available with you, you will not be able to generate the revenues that you are looking for. So it's a catch-22 situation. You have to have an appropriate number of people, only then you will be able to deliver the right kind of results. So along with that, another important aim that human resource management has is to maintain a cooperative climate within the organization. Can you imagine a situation where maybe 100 or 1000 or 1500 people are working, but there are groupings inside? But if there is a lot of politics, or if there is a lot of non-productive activity going on within the organization, it is really, the likelihood is very high that you will not be able to achieve your